Hello students, welcome back to the class. I hope you all are practicing the questions and till now you have practiced till question number 10 of exercise 5.3. So in this class we will do from question number 11 to question number 20 and I'm again repeating this line, keep practicing the questions. If you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section. I will reply or I will answer all your doubts. But still, again, I'll say you have to practice the questions. So let's not waste the time and start with the questions. We will do from question number 11 of exercise 5.3. So let's start from question number 11. If the sum of the first n terms of an AP is 4n minus n square, what is the first term? And what is the sum of first two terms? What is the second term? Similarly, find the third, the 10th, and the nth term. So in this single question, we have lots of things to find. So first is given, as sum of the first and n terms is given. That means Sn is equal to 4n minus n square. This thing is already given. Sn is given, it means we can substitute any value of n and we can find the sum directly. Suppose I have to find the sum of 5 terms. So I can simply find S5 that is equal to 4 into, instead of n, I'll write 5, 4 into 5 minus 5 square. I can simply find any sum for any value of n. In this question, they're asking us to find the first term. So how can we find the first term using the sum formula? So what will be the sum of one term? That will be the first term itself. So for finding the first term, I'll simply find S1. That is equal to 4 into 1 minus 1 square. That is equal to 4 minus 1 and that is equal to 3. Clear? Now they're asking what is the sum of first two terms. So first two terms means S2 and that will be equal to 4 into 2 minus 2 square. So this is equal to 8 minus 4 and this will be equal to 4. So our S1 is 3, S2 is 4. Now they're asking us to find what is the second term. Now can you tell me what is the second term? How can you find that? So what actually now, suppose any AP is there. 3, 6, 9, something. This AP is there. So first term is 3. So sum of first term will be 3. Sum of two terms is 6 plus 3 and 6 plus 3 and 9. So now from this first sum of one term and the sum of two terms, I need to find the second term. If I'll do S2 minus S1, what will I get? 9 minus 3 and that will be 6. So it means if I have to find the second term, I can do S2 minus S1 means sum of two terms minus sum of one term. So similarly, if I have to find any term from the formula of sum of the terms, what I can do, I can subtract the consecutive numbers, like the sum of the consecutive number of terms. Suppose I have to find 20th term. How can I find? S20 minus S19. So it means what? In S20, we are adding 20 terms. In S19, we are adding only 19 terms. We are not adding the 20th term. So when we subtract both of them, we can get the 20th term. So whenever there is given like the formula for the sum of the terms, and we have to find the like specific term, so we can simply subtract the consecutive number of terms. So if I have to find the second term, what all things I have to subtract? S2 minus S1. S2 we already have 4 and S1 we have 3. What will be the second term? That is 4 minus 3 and that will be equal to 1. So I can write A2 is equal to S2 minus S1. This is equal to 4 minus 3 and that is equal to for the second term. Now we have to find the third term. Now it is simple for you. We can find easily. Third term will be S3 minus S2. So first we need to find S3. S3 will be equal to 4 into 3 minus 3 square. 4 3s are 12 minus 3 3s are 9. So 12 minus 9 is 3. We got S3. So now A3 will be equal to 3 minus our S2 was 4. So 3 minus 4 that is equal to minus 1. Clear? Now in the next one, we have to find the 10th term. Means we have to find A10. A10 will be equal to S10 minus S9. Again, we'll first have to find S10, then we'll have to find S9, and then we will have to subtract. So let's solve. S10 will be equal to 4 into 10 minus 10 square. This is equal to 40 minus 100. This is minus 60. And S9 will be equal to 4 into 9 minus 9 square. So 36 minus 81, and this will be equal to minus 45. So we got S10, we got S9. We can simply find A10, that is equal to minus 60 minus of minus 45, minus 60 plus 45, and this is equal to minus 15. So our A3 is minus 1. And our A10 is minus 15. And I can see the first one, the third term and 10th term we got. What is the second term? Second term was 1. What is the first term? First term was 3. These were our answers. Now we have to find nth term. So how can we find nth term? Same. An is equal to Sn minus Sn minus 1. We are doing this only. Sn means what? If I take 10, so it is S10. And what will be n minus 1? It is 9. So we are doing that only from that time. So now we have to generate a formula for this. Sn is already given to us. That is 4n minus n squared. We have to find Sn minus 1. Sn minus 1 will be equal to 4n minus 1 minus n minus 1 whole square. Instead of n, I'll write n minus 1. This will be equal to 4n minus 4 minus n square plus 1 minus 2n. This was a minus b whole square. So I split it into a square plus b square minus 2ab. This will be 4n minus 4 minus n square minus 1 plus 2n. I can arrange this minus n square plus 6n and minus 5. So this is our Sn minus 1. I can substitute the values. This will be 4n minus n square minus n square plus 6n minus 5. When I remove the brackets, I'll get plus n square minus 6n plus 5. This will be 4n minus n square plus n square will get cancelled. 4n minus 6n will be minus 2n plus 5. This will be equal to 5 minus 2n. This is the formula for an. If you want to check, you can check also. We got first term as 3. So let's check. A1 is equal to 5 minus 2 into 1. This is 5 minus 2. This is equal to 3. See, we are getting the same answers. A2, 5 minus 2 into 2, 5 minus 4, that is 1. See, we are getting the same answers. So this is the formula. If we have Sn given, so we can do this also. First find An. How can we find that? Sn minus 1. You can find that, and then we'll get An, and we can simply put the value of n and we can get any terms. We can do like this also, and we can do the way that we have done in this question by finding the sum of the specific terms and then subtracting it. Clear? 12th question. Find the sum of first 40 positive integers divisible by 6. Means what? We actually have to find the sum of the first 40 multiples of 6. Clear? So which one will be the first multiple? First multiple is always the number itself. So first number is 6. Second multiple will be 12. Third will be 18, and it will go on. Okay. In this question, we can use both the formulas. What are the two formulas to find the sum? Sn is equal to n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. We have n, that is 40. We have a, that is 6. We have d, that is also 6. I already have told you in my previous classes also that when we have to solve the questions of multiples, in that case, common difference is always that factor only. Means if we have to find the multiples of 6, common difference will be 6, because it's it's the actually a table. It's the table of 6. So the table of 6, what is the difference between two consecutive numbers? That will be 6 only. So A is 6 and D is 6. So we can use this formula. And the second one, Sn is equal to n by 2 A plus L. We can use this also. How? We have n, we have A, and how can we find L? It's written first 40 positive integers. It's already written there. So what will be like 6 into 40? We can do 6 into 40. That will be 240. Hence, we have the last term also. That is 240, and we can use this formula as well. So whichever formula you want, you can use. I'll go on with the second one. Sn, that is S40 is equal to 40 upon 2. A is 6, L is 240. This will be, this I can cancel 20. So it is 20 into 6 plus 240, that is 246. I can simply multiply this. 6 2s are 12, 4 2s are 819, 2 2s are 4, 4920 is the answer. If you want, we can check it also by using the second method. S40 is equal to 40 by 2, 2 into A, that is 12, plus n minus 1, 39 into 6. This is actually a lengthier method. So 20, 12 plus so this will be equal to 20 multiplied by C. We are getting the same thing again. 20 into 246, 20 into 246. So equal to 4920. Clear? But whichever formula you want, we can use. Next question, find the sum of first 15 multiples of 8. It's the same question. We are going to write the AP as 8, 16, 24. It will go on, and the last term will be 15 into 8. That is 120. So A is 8, D is 8, N is 15, and L is 120. I can find S15 as 15 by 2, 8 plus 120. This is equal to 15 by 2 multiplied by 128. I can cancel this. I'll get 15 multiplied by 64. And while I multiply this, I'll get 960. If you want, you can check it using the other method. In maths, I'll recommend you that whenever you're solving any question, make it a habit of checking the answer by yourself. Like how can you check? By cross-checking it. If you have any other method, or like if you have any other like formula to use, so you can like check the answer. In this question also, how we can check? We can check by using a different formula. So make it a habit. First, make it a habit of clearing your doubt yourself. If you like start clearing your doubt yourself, you can solve any question in maths. And second thing, check your answer yourself. Don't rely on the answer like answer sheet or the answer booklet what is given on the end in the textbook. Don't rely on that. Always check your answer. Cross check your answer. Always. Next is the 14th question. Find the sum of the odd numbers between 0 and 50. So what will be the first odd number? That is 1. Next is 3, 5, and the last number before 50 will be 14. So this is also A is 1, D is 2. In this case, we don't have N. How many odd numbers are there between 0 and 50? So first we need to find N. And we don't have A, we have D, we have N, we have, and L, we have, that is 49, or I can write AN also as 49. So I have to find first N. AN is 49. This means that A plus N minus 1 D is 49. A is 1, N minus 1 we don't have. Multiplied by 2 is 49. 2 N minus 1 is equal to 48. N minus 1 is equal to 48 by 2, that is 24. Therefore, N is equal to 20. We got N. Now we can simply find Sn. As 25 is equal to 25 by 2 A plus L. This is equal to 25 by 2 1 plus 49. 25 by 2 multiplied by 50. So 25 multiplied by 25, this is equal to 620. Okay, so whenever there is no n is not given, we can simply find by using an. Let's move to the next question. A contract on construction job specifies a penalty for delay of completion beyond a certain date as follows. Rupees 200 for the first day, 250 for the second, 300 for the third day, and the penalty for each succeeding day being rupees 50 more than for the preceding day. How much money the contractor has to pay as penalty if he has delayed the work by 30 days? Means what? A contractor has taken the contract to like construct anything. Suppose let's say building, and let's suppose that contractor said that I will complete the work in 6 months, but he was not able to do it. So after 6 months, suppose his date finishes on 30th October. He said he will finish his work on 30th October, but he was unable to do it. So on 31st October, he has to pay rupees 200 to the owner that I have not completed your work, so this is my penalty, 200 rupees. Again, like suppose on 1st November, again by 1st November also the work is not done. So on 1st November, he will have to pay 250, 50 more than the preceding day. 2nd November also, he was not able to complete his work. On 2nd November, he will have to pay rupees 300. So if suppose he delayed the work by 3 days, so how much money he has to pay? 200 plus 250 plus 300. That equals to 750. If he delays the work by 3 days, he has to pay 750 rupees. But according to this question, he delayed the work by 30 days. So we have to calculate how much amount he has to pay to the owner. So this is like, this clearly forms the AP in which the common difference will be 50 because he has to pay 50 more than the preceding day. So the AP will be like this: 200, 250, 300, it will go on. So A is 200, B is 250, and N is given to us, that is 30. So simply we can find the sum of the penalty given by him for like 30 days, and we can get the answer. Simply we have to find S30. That is equal to 30 by 2, 2A plus N minus 1D. This guy can cancel. 15. 2 into A will be 400. N minus 1 is 29. D is 50. So this will be 15, 400 plus so I can multiply this 15 and 1850 and I'll get the answer. $27,750. So if he delayed the work by 30 days, he had to pay 27,750 rupees is the answer. Clear? So let's move to the next question. 16th question. A sum of rupees 700 to be used to give 7 cash prizes to students of a school for their overall academic performance. If each prize is rupees 20 less than its preceding prize, find the value of each of the prizes. So actually, what is this question? Total amount that is used to give the prizes was 700. And suppose the first prize is the rupees 100. Second prize will be 20 less than the first one. Yes, second will be 80. Third will be 60. Then 40. then 20, it will go on and there has to be 7 prices. And when we will add all the 7 prices, we will get 700. In this case, again, it is forming an AP because the difference between the consecutive terms is 20. And we have been given the sum also. We can easily find. Write it like this. Let the first price be X, then the second price will be X minus 20. Third price will be X minus 20 minus 20, that is equal to X minus 40. So, and it will go on like that till 7th price. So clearly it is forming an AP. It forms an AP where A is X, D is minus 20, N is 7, and S7 is given as 700. We have to find the value of each of the prices. First we'll find X and then we can get all the values. S7 is given as 700. It means that N by 2, 2A plus 60 is equal to 700. N by 2, I can take 2 common out of this. I'll get A plus 3D. This is equal to 700. 2 and 2 cancelled. 7, A is X plus 3 into minus 20 is equal to 700. X minus 60 is 100. Therefore, X is equal to 160. We got our first term, that is 160. So A2 will be 160 minus 20. That is equal to 140. A3 is 120. A4 is 100. A5 is 80. A6 is 60. And A7 is 40. So our 7 prices were first price 160, second price 140, third price 120, then fourth price 100, fifth price 80, sixth one is 60, and the seventh price is 40. And when we will add all the prize money, we will get 700 as the answer. Clear? Let's move to the next question. 17th one. In a school, students thought of planting trees in and around the school to reduce air pollution. It was decided by that the number of trees that each section of class, each class will plant will be the same as the class in which they are studying. Example, a section of class 1 will plant 1 tree, section of class 2 will plant 2 trees, and so on till class 12. There are 3 sections of each class. How many trees will be planted by the students? So, let's start. Class 1 will plant how many trees? One section will plant 1 tree, second will plant again 1 tree, and the third again will plant 1 tree. There are 3 sections and each section will plant 1 tree. Correct? Class 2, again, first section will plant 2 trees, second section will plant 2 trees, third section will plant 2 trees. So class 1 will totally plant 3 trees and class 2 will plant 2 into 3, that is 6 trees. Similar way, class 3 will plant 3, 3 and 3, that is equal to 9. Class 4 will plant 4, 4 and 4 because there are 3 sections. Totally they will plant 12 trees. Similar way, class 5 will plant 5, 5, 5, that is equal to 15. Class 6 will plant 6 trees are 18. Class 7 will plant 7 into 3, 21. Class 8 will plant 8 into 3, 24 trees. Class 9 will plant 9 into 3, that is 27 trees. 10 will plant 30 trees. Class 11 will plant 33 trees and class 12 will plant 36 trees. So now clearly you can see this is forming an AP. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 and the common difference between 2 consecutive terms is 3. So this is an AP. We have to find how many trees will be planted by the students. Means we have to find the sum of all the number of trees of all the terms. So it's very easy. We can do it. A is 3. D is also 3. N is number of classes. So number of classes were 12. We are not taking the sections because we have already counted the sections to form the AP. N is 12 and we have to find Sn. So Sn is n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. So S12 is equal to 12 by 2, 2 into 3 plus 11 into 3. This will get cancelled. 6 plus 33. This is equal to 6 into 39. And this will be equal to 234. So totally they will plant 234 trees. It's clear? Now let's move to the next question. 18th question is, a spiral is made up of successive semicircles with centers alternately at A and B. Means for the first semicircle, the center will be A. This is the first semicircle and for this the center is A. Then again, like this is the semicircle. For this the center is B. And the radii for the first one is 0.5. Second is second for the second radius it is 1 centimeter. Third radius is 1.5 and it will go on like that. And it is forming a spiral. See, this is the first spiral, second spiral, third spiral, fourth spiral, to go on till 13 consecutive semicircles. We have to find the total length. So how can we find? What is the length of this? This is a semicircle. We can find the circumference of the semicircle and that will be the length. Circumference means what? The length of the thread that we can, that will be the length of the thread when we keep on this semicircle. Correct? So that is the circumference only. So we can find the circumference of all the semicircles and we have to add. So we don't have to add everything separately. We'll just form an AP and we can find the sum of the terms. So for the first semicircle, the parallel perimeter 1, that will be equal to semicircle. What is the circumference of a semicircle? Pi r. So this is equal to pi into 0.5, that is pi by 2. P2 will be again pi into 1, that is pi. P3 will be equal to pi into 1.5, that is equal to 3 pi by 2. P4 will be equal to pi into 2, that is equal to 2 pi. So I can write P1 as pi by 2, P2 is pi, P3 is 3 pi by 2 and P4 is 2 pi. So clearly this is forming an AP where P1 is pi by 2, P2 is pi, P3 is 3 by 2 pi and P4 is 2 pi. It will go on till P13. So in AP, this is A is pi by 2, D is pi minus pi by 2, that is equal to pi by 2 only. N is given as 13. We have to find S13. S13 is equal to 13 by 2, 2A plus N minus 1D. This is equal to 13 by 2. 2 into pi by 2 plus n minus 1, that is 12 into pi by 2. This 2 and 2 will cancel and I will get 13 pi plus this. Again it will get cancelled, 6 plus pi plus 6 pi. This is equal to 13 by 2 pi plus 6 pi. This is equal to 13 by 2 into 7 pi. So this will be 13 sevens are 91 by 2 into 22 by 7. 2 11s are 7 into 13. 13 into 11. We have to multiply and I'll get the answer as 143. So the total length of all the semicircles, all 13 semicircles, I can say the total length will be 143 centimeters. Okay, let's move to the next question. 19th question is 200 logs are stacked in the following manner. 20 logs in the bottom row means 20 logs in the bottom, then 19 in the next, 18 in the row next, and it goes on so and so. And in how many rows are the 200 logs placed and how many logs are in the top row? So in this question, what we have to find? We have to find, first we have to find n, means how many rows are there, and we have to find the last term, because how many logs are there in the top row, it means the last term. So A is 20, then D will be 19 in the next row. So 19 minus 20, that is minus 1. D is minus 1, and we have to find Sn is given as 200. Very easy, we can find it. Sn is equal to n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. 200 is equal to n by 2, 2 into 20 plus n minus 1, and our d is minus 1. I can multiply this 200 with 2. This will become 400. 400 is equal to n, 40. This will, when I multiply this will become minus n plus 1. So implies that 400 is equal to 40n minus n square plus n. 400 is equal to 41n minus n square. I'll bring everything to the left hand side and it will become 400 plus n square minus 41n is equal to 0. 400 minus 41n plus n square. I can rearrange this. Now I will have to factorize 400 to get 41. Let's see how we can find that. We have to get 41. 25, 2 to the 4, 2 to the 8, 2 to the 16, 25 and 16. Oh, we got it the first attempt only. So n square minus 25n minus 16n plus 400 is 0. And n minus 25 minus 16 n minus 25 is equal to 0. So n minus 25 and n minus 16 is equal to 0. Implies that if n minus 25 is 0, therefore n is equal to 25. If n minus 16 is equal to 0, therefore n is equal to 16. We got both the values as positive. So as both the values are positive, we can take any value for n, means there can be 16 rows also, there can be 25 rows also. Now we have to find the number of logs in the last row. So first we will find for A25, means how many logs are there in the 25th row. That will be equal to A plus 24D. A was 20 plus 24 into minus 1. This is equal to 20 minus 24, that is equal to minus 4. So now you tell me, can we have number of logs in the negative? Means can we say, please put minus 4 logs over there? What is that? We cannot have that. It means there cannot be 25 rows. So as the number of logs cannot be negative, there are total. So number of logs cannot be negative. So number of rows cannot be 25. Now, so according to this, total number of rows are 16. So we will find the number of logs in the 16th row. That is A16 is equal to A plus 15B, 20 plus 15 into minus 1. That is equal to 20 minus 15, and that is equal to 5. Hence, there are total 16 rows and there are 5 logs in the top row or in the 16th row. Clear this? So we just find like that only. When we are getting both the values as positive, we can switch to the next question. In that question, if we can eliminate one value, we will eliminate. Or if we can go with both the values, we will go with both the values. Clear? Let's move to the last question of this exercise. 20th question. In a potato race, a bucket is placed at the starting point. It means the bucket is placed over here. Suppose this is the starting point, a bucket is placed over here, which is 5 meters from the first potato. And first potato is placed here. This distance is 5 meters. And the other potatoes are placed 3 meters apart in a straight line. Other potato is here. This distance is 3 meters. The next is here. 3 meters. 3 meters. 3 meters, and it goes on like that. And total there are 10 potatoes in a line. A competitor starts from the bucket, picks up the nearest potato, means a competitor will start from this point. The competitor will run till here, pick up this potato, will come back and will insert this potato in the bucket. He run back with it, drops it in the bucket, runs back to pick up the next potato. Then again, he will run to this potato, pick it up, come back, drops in this. Again, drops it, continues in the same way. Again, it will go, come back, drop. Go, pick it up, come back, and it will drop. So, to pick first potato, he will have to cover 5 meters. To cover the next potato, he will have to cover 5 meters plus 3. For going, he will have to cover 5 meters plus 3, and then again coming back also to drop it, he will have to cover 8. Again 8 meters. So to pick the potato up and to drop it back, he will have to cover 16 meters. And to cover the first potato, to pick it up, it will cover 5 meters. To drop it back, he will have to cover 10 meters. Double the distance. Now to pick the third potato, what will be the distance? 5 plus 3 plus 3. 8 plus 3, 11. Again coming back, 11. So total he will have to cover 22 meters. It will go on till there are 10 potatoes. So how many times he will have to run? This is the first potato, this is the second potato, this is the third potato. It will go on till the 10th potato. So clearly this is forming an AP where A is 10, B is 16 minus 10, that is 6. And N is given as 10. We have to find the total distance the competitor has to run. So total distance means what we can do? We can add all the distances that he has to cover while bringing 10 potatoes to the bucket. So we simply have to find S10. S10 is equal to N by 2 2A plus 9D 10 by 2 2 into 10 plus 9 into 6. This will get cancelled. 5, 20 plus 54. This is 2 into 74 and this is equal to 148. The competitor has to run 148 meters to cover the complete distance. We have also played this game in our school, like you also play like in the sports competition. There are some balls kept in a single line and there is one bucket placed. We have to run, pick the one ball, come back, put in the bucket. Again go, pick the second one, bring it, put it in the bucket. So we also play this sports in our school. So this is the same thing. In this case, it is potato over there. And this was the thing, how much distance we cover. Next time when you see this in your school, like this competition is basically for the kids. When you see it, you can identify, like you can calculate how much distance a kid is actually covering to collect all the balls or all the potatoes. So these AP actually are very useful in our daily life also. We can easily calculate what will be the next, what will be the number in the next row, or how many, like how we have to place the objects, how can we place it, what will be the total sum. We can calculate all the things. So this was the last question of the exercise 5.3. We have completed exercise 5.3. In the next class, we'll start with the new chapter. But till that time, Keep practicing. You can practice from different textbooks also. If you have any doubt, write that question in the comment section. We will clear your doubts as soon as possible. Keep practicing.